When you're exporting a Excel file or a report from another program, which in this example, I was exporting the student grades from their IT platform, their learning platform that they use. These are all the labs and all of the homework assignments and everything are here. And I angled them to see what that would look like if I could actually take that and kind of fit it all in one spreadsheet. But if you look, this is an awful lot of data. It goes all the way over to column EZ. So here we go. So what we're going to do is the way that I did this at first to try to see if I could get this to fit enough to print was I took row 1 and I angled it. So what I did is I went to the home tab in the alignment group, and you have this little alignment icon right here. So you click on that and it's like, well, gee, I don't see anything that just rotates straight up, which actually this one does. But actually what I did is I went to format cell alignment. I went there and then see this little, almost looks like a half a clock, right? So it's angled at 90 degrees now, but you can always change that. Grab that little red dot, change the angle, and it will change the degrees, right, of the angle. And I could click OK, and it would look something like that. Wasn't a fan. I kind of played around with that for a little bit. Was not a fan of that. Now, what if we have to print the spreadsheet? There is a thing called when you're pasting, you can paste from one side and you can kind of flip the data. So what I was going to do is actually take row 1 and I'm going to copy it. Control C, copy everything there. I'm going to come down. I added an extra column in column A, and I just grab a bunch of cells there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste. Okay. So select a bunch of cells in column A, Control V, and then I get this little control tag down here, which is asking me, well, how do you want to paste it? What I'm actually going to do is transpose how I'm pasting the data. So this is really cool. So, but look what happened. It wasn't exactly perfect because it's still on the angle, right? So now all I have to do is come back to my alignment, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to rotate text till it's straight across vertically. I don't have any of those features here, but what I do have is the format cell alignment. And I'm just going to come over here and say, just go back to horizontal. 0 degrees on the orientation. Go ahead and click OK. And now you can see how all of your data, all of those column headers going so far across. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 students, right? So wouldn't it make more sense that the students go across the top and all of the modules and all the assignments and labs and everything that are in the module that are in the course, doesn't it make sense for them to go down the left side, right? So when you think about a spreadsheet, you want to think about the piece of data that has more in it is what you want to go down the column, right down row by row. And so in this case, the modules, the assignments, the homework, everything, the labs, everything, there was way, way more than there are students. So this is the stuff that I want to put down on the left side. And then the students I'll put going across the top up here because it's not going to go that far across. And the good thing is I'll be able to print it then, right? And I won't have to get out my Scotch tape. Column A, let me widen that a little bit. And yeah, looking good, right? Okay, so now I can go delete row 1. So I'm going to hover my mouse over the row number, row 1, get that little black arrow that points to the right. Go ahead, left click 1 time, and it's going to select the entire row going all the way across. I'm just going to right click and I'm going to delete. All right, so half the battle is won there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert a bunch of rows above my data. So what I'm doing, I have a smaller laptop. It's about a 14-inch. I don't have the number keys over to the right on a typical keyboard. So what I had to do was hold Shift, then Control. So what I did is I clicked on row 1, selected it again, held my Shift key, then held my Control key down, and then I tapped my plus key, right? So you could do it that way, or you can right click and you can insert, right click, insert, right click, insert. But to me, the keyboard shortcuts are a little bit easier. So now from here, what I want to do is I want to take this information and I want to put the names of the students going across, right? Where you see the row 9, where the student names are. I'm actually going to put that going across the top. and then the actual scores of their assignments and homework and labs and all of that, those need to come down here. So the first score on that first column was the overall score to date. So I just need to make sure that when I paste those numbers, I'm pasting them down this way, right? Starting from row 10, okay? All right, so that being said, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna insert another column to the left, move that over a little bit, okay? I'm gonna take my numbers for Matt. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all those numbers, and from there I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to transpose paste. So Control C to copy. I'm going to start here with the overall date, and I'm going to select all the way down to the end of my data, which is row, and I could Control Shift and arrow down, but now I'm going to paste. And when I paste, look what happens, okay? So it's like, ooh, wait a minute. So what I'm going to do, I get that control tag, and I'm going to transpose. That's all I had to do. Now I can come up here, and I can take Matt's name, and I can move that right there. It's a little wonky how to do this, but it actually does. And let me take Kevin. I'm going to move him here. So I'm going to keep inserting some columns here and move all the students into their own column individually, and then one by one, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take each one, and I should probably do it before I get confused as to whose score is whose, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Calvin's scores, Control C to copy, okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and select those cells, Control V to paste, hit that little control tag, transpose that data, and now there's Kelvin's data, okay? So I'm going to actually go ahead and delete, going across the columns here, Matt and Kelvin's data, okay? So I just select them all and tap my delete key. And now I have Noel. And for Noel, again, I'm going to select his numbers. And I'm going to Control C to copy. And you could right click and copy as well. And then I'm going to select Noel's column here and go all the way down to the end. And I'm going to Control V to paste. It's going to look a little weird. I'm going to hit that control tag, transpose, and we're good to go. So I'm just going to do that a couple of times to clean this up a little bit so that the orientation of the data in this spreadsheet looks better than going all the way across. It was just a bit much. So I'm going to keep doing that, clean that up.